What's your name? Where were you born and how old are you?
My name's Renee, and I was born in North New Jersey, and I'm 58.
58. All right.
Yes.
Tell me, tell me, what was your home life like?
My home life was great. It was really great. It was a place of serenity. It was nice. I mean, I had a strict dad, so strictness goes, I guess, along with discipline. But I don't have any complaints. My mother died when I was 10, so that left my father, single parent, and he was very strict. But it was good. It was good.
Okay. Speaking on your parents, what were your parents like? Your relationship with them, and where did they grow up?
Okay, so my mom died when I was 10, right?
Where was she born?
She was born in Little Rock, Arkansas.
Okay.
So I have remembrance of her up until till she died, and she was hippie, because this was like the '70s. She passed in '73, but she was very modern. She was a nurse, but outside her occupation, she was just into the whole peace, love, hippie thing. The music of the '70s, Sly and the Family Stone. She was cool. She was a lot of fun.
Okay, so you have fond memories of her, the little that
Very
you
much
can
so.
remember.
Very much so. And we did a lot of things together, me and her, because like my father didn't fly, so because he didn't fly, me and her would take vacations to go see her people in Little Rock,
Oh, I
Arkansas.
was going to ask you, do you have any connections to Little Rock?
Pretty much not anymore because I think after she died, there was a disconnect, because her brother lived there. So my dad, he was a hard worker. He worked a blue collar job in the steel worker industry, and even though his education wasn't high, because I believe he said he dropped out or he had to go to work, and so he left school early, like sixth grade.
Was he also born in Little
He
Rock?
was born in St. Louis, Missouri,
Okay.
in the rougher part.
Okay.
So he was strict.
Any connections to St. Louis?
Yeah, my cousins, they live in Jersey, but in terms of like St. Louis, once everybody kind of came to Jersey, the immediate family, which a lot of them are passed away, the connections from state to state weren't that great.
Not strong.
Yeah. It was kind of just us and a few cousins because not everybody came to Jersey. And then for us to go back and forth,
So your main family after
is Jersey.
is Jersey. Okay. Newark.
Newark. And, well, there's family in Atlanta, but, that they migrated there.
Okay. What was the economic state of the household? Was finances and money budgeting a topic?
This is a two-part question. Do you want my idea of it or the actual real version? Because there's two versions.
Well, how it was in the house from your perspective as a child, I guess.
As a child, I had everything I wanted. There wasn't anything that I was longing for that I couldn't have. There were friends of mine who I knew, they didn't have a color TV, let alone one in their room. But my mother and father, they had friends in different financial sectors. Is that the word?
Mm-hmm.
So I used to look at my father because my father's perspective, which is why I say this is a two-parter, we po. P-O, we po.
Do you think maybe because he was older and he saw what real living was like, and at your age, yeah, I got a color TV, I'm rich. And in his mind, he's like, wait a minute.
No.
You think you were well off?
Yeah, because, okay, we're talking the 70s, okay. Growing up. Like, I graduated grammar school in 77. So let's just say my mother was a nurse. She died in 73, so let's go like early 70s. A nurse, whatever their salary is, and he was making at least 65 by himself.
So you think his
back then that was a good salary, but to me, for him to tell me we're poor, we were getting those little boxes of UNICEF, the pennies. So I'm like, we ain't poor. So in my opinion, as a child, I'm like, if I'm giving pennies to third world countries with UNICEF, now that's poor. That's my thinking. But growing up, there were different things I couldn't do. Like I couldn't get a summer job because he made too much money. But because he grew up in a depression, I don't know if I just don't know because he would always say we're poor, and I'm like, how are we poor? My mother had a Mustang convertible. He had a car. My brothers had cars. My brothers, my two brothers, and myself were first generation college.
Do you think maybe he was keeping the poor mentality, not mentality, but just kept maybe emphasizing you guys are poor to keep you from getting comfortable? He's like, listen, there's a fire under your ass. You're maybe on the border of poor, or just he didn't want you to get complacent. Like, listen, you got to still go work because there's a lot of kids who their parents are Mustangs, their brothers all have cars, color TVs. They're not doing shit. They're just going to be living off of their parents. Maybe.
I don't think that because I don't think that his salary was affordable for all of us to just sit home and do nothing because we had a work ethic. Because, at some point it was like work or go to school. But I just think he had a mentality of being a black man in this country and maybe poor just went with it.
And you said he grew up in a depression?
Yes.
So that was a whole different, his way of thinking moving forward is anything could happen at any moment and everything could be gone maybe. And he didn't want.
You know what? I'm still trying to figure it out. He passed away in 2005. But I'm like, how were we poor? In his view. But in my view, anything I wanted, I had. I was the only girl. I'm the youngest. My oldest brother left the house and he went to Harvard. I'm not Harvard. I'm sorry, Howard University. My other brother went to Rutgers. And there wasn't a lot of financial aid. Like, my parents were paying before my mother passed away. And then he was able to allow me to go to college. So I just never factored that in my thinking because I had the stereo, not a little stupid record player. I had all the music I want. I had a canopy bed, all like the little dream girl bullshit.
Everything on the commercial.
Can I curse?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, okay. And I just never said poor. We ate well. We did get government cheese, but we got government cheese. You know why? Because the area we lived in housing. And they were giving it out. So,
So
he used to run over there and get it.
You guys were at a certain economic level because you have to only make a certain amount to receive all that stuff. So maybe he was correct.
But we weren't supposed to be getting that. You know what I'm saying?
So how did he get it? He finessed the paperwork?
My mother had connections with different people.
You already established, well, we didn't talk about it, but you said you guys had a strong work ethic within the household. How did they teach you a strong work ethic, and how did that help you moving forward?
Good question. Okay. So I saw my mother go back to school to become a nurse. My brothers watched my father work. He got up at 5:30 every day faithfully. So just looking at him and with his authoritarian attitude, he wasn't like get up and go to work, but it was just the watching of him that we all picked up on.
So you guys, at a young age, you had the wherewithal, I guess, to see your father bust his ass, even without him having to tell you. You said, this is what I have to do.
Yeah, this is what I want to do. But then also for me, at a certain age, I'm like, Dad, give me money, or I want to go shopping. And I noticed the money was not as great as saying when I was younger. So I was like, oh, I got to go to work. Because he's not giving me enough to get my shoes and my entire outfit and whatever else I want at once. He may give me the money to buy the shoe, but I'm like, I need everything. And that's when I was like.
Around what age is that?
High school, maybe 17.
Yeah, because you got to look fresh at school. All the girls got 17. The jelly shoes or whatever things are called.
Yeah.
You need those too. Okay.
Yeah. So, I just was like, I got to go to work. But I really didn't start work until maybe after high school. Maybe 19 or something like that.